How's it going? Hello, hello, hello. Heidi, I have to send you a message because I have a slight issue with your SeaWorld order. So I gotta send you a message about it. Good morning. Merry Christmas Eve, Eve. How did that happen? Wasn't it just Halloween? I swear to God, it was Halloween 2 days ago. And I was like, oh, I have so much time before Christmas. And then all of a sudden I'm like, oh my God, it's in 48 hours. What happened? Good morning. So is everyone like fully awake this morning, or are we all just kind of because the kids aren't in school, so we're not quite as awake as we normally would be? Because y'all are quiet. Oh, Mark Goofy, I've got to do your cancellation request. Let me do that right now while we're sitting here. Good morning, everyone. Welcome in. You're welcome. I think the correct pin should still be in the bin if you want to take a look. Mm, and there we go. Accepted. Okay. But Dopey should be in the bin. If it's not, let me know and I'll add it back in. Good morning, Sidon. How are you? Good morning, Rachel. Merry Christmas Eve, Eve. I'm not going to do any auctions this morning because one, I overslept because I am tired this holiday season. Whew. But also two, because we're so like quiet and zen in the morning, and auctions need to be hyper in that. And so last week, a couple things went for $1, and not that I don't mind it. But I'm like, man, I can't do that every week though. So I have the bin all loaded up, and I was like, you know what? It's Christmas. Um, I didn't want to get out of bed either. For a minute I was like, do you think people would mind if I just stayed in bed and did the show from there? And I was like, no, we're not doing that. Like, get your butt up out of bed. Plus, I still have more errands to run today, so okay, yes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That'll do it. That will do it. I had a friend of ours who's a nurse. She's starting to be a doctor. She actually suggested instead of melatonin, she said take magnesium. She's like, you will sleep through the night with that. And the last like 3 or 4 nights, I have not slept well at all. I've been up a lot. So I think I'm going to try the magnesium and see if that works. Because melatonin doesn't always do its job. But anyway, bin's fully loaded. It's Christmas. So if y'all want to start doing some bloops and gifting each other, that would be awesome. Don't feel like you have to though. But check out the bin. There's a lot of stuff. I added a few more things. There's popcorn in the bin because we're going back to Magic Kingdom today. Well, Sean is. Sean's going back to Magic Kingdom today to do more popcorn bucket runs. So we can pick up the popcorn for you then. So those are in the bin. Oh, see? Oh, we're all tired. Mm. Mm-hmm. Um, what a crazy Christmas season this was, right? Like I know it was shorter. Did you all feel like it was a lot? Did you feel how short it was this year, or did it feel like as crazy as usual for you guys? Because I feel like it was a lot crazier with that shorter time period between Thanksgiving and Christmas this year. And what do y'all want to talk about today? Who's got questions for me? So it didn't sneak up on me. Like I knew it was like a freight train that was coming at me, and I kept seeing it, and it kept getting closer and closer every day. And I was like, yeah, but I still got time to get off the tracks. And now I don't. Now I'm tied down to the track, and it's here. I'm like, well, crap. We didn't, Rachel. We were supposed to, but Julie's little boo, poor little girl, she had a major asthma attack. So as we were like starting to get ready to go, she texted, she's like, I don't think we can go. I've got to get her, like, because otherwise Boo ends up in the hospital if she doesn't get it treated right away. And I was like, well, I'm not going without you. It doesn't feel right for Lucy to be at the beach without Ethel. So we said, you know what? Yes, we miss the treasure, but the beach will be there every single day. So we're like, I told her, I said, go take care of your family. We'll go a different day. I still have stuff to auction on the beach. I know. She sent me the picture later with her doing her treatment. Poor little girl. She's just in there. She's got the nebulizer mask on. She's got a little peace sign thrown up. And I was like, oh, boo. But thankfully, because we made that choice, she got her treatment. And now she's, according to Julie yesterday, she said her daughter was being a pain in the you know what. So she must be okay now. So that was the right choice then. So the beach will be there. And the treasure will go out from there again. So it just won't be the inaugural, the sailing, the maiden voyage, but we'll go out there. We'll watch the cruise ships go by another day. Maybe I don't know if we'll go in the winter. Maybe we'll wait now until it's warmer and we're not going to freeze our butts off on the couch, on the beach. Jesus. I clearly would like to go lay down. Oh my gosh. Any questions for this morning? Anybody want to talk about any sellers want to promote their shows? Any sellers have questions on things for their shows? Good morning, JM. Any buyers have questions on things? Anybody have questions on Disney or Universal or SeaWorld or life in general? Let's chat. Let's just hang out and drink coffee and chat this morning and shop the bin. What do you guys got for me? Morning, Tianjin. How are you? Let's use this as our calm before the Fabs craziness. We've picked up 8 so far, and I still have at least like another 6 to go. I've never typically minded popcorn buckets. I hate these popcorn buckets. Because everybody wants them, so the lines are still long. Like now that they're available for the day guests, usually what happens is once they go from exclusive to available to everyone, the demand kind of plummets because it's not so exclusive anymore. Um, and because they're available all day, the lines kind of dissipate. It's been long lines. They've moved slightly quickly. I mean, I don't think we've waited in line more than 10 to 15 minutes, but when you can only get 2 at a time and you got to keep doing that over and over again, it adds up over the day. So I'm like, man, I hate these buckets. I hate them. I really wish that they would have put them available at more places or not had them be party exclusives in the first place. Like just instead ordering 10,000 for the party. You know everyone's gonna want those. Order 50,000 and just put them out in the parks. Don't make them all party exclusive. It's so annoying. You do it at Disneyland. Why can't you do it here? Overall thoughts on Disney today compared to 15 years ago, the prices on everything. I mean, the prices are insane. I can't necessarily fault Disney for that. I mean, the prices of everything have gone up. So, um, some of that's driven by their vendors. Obviously, their costs have gone up, so that's going to get passed along to us. Um, it's a catch-22 on the ticket prices, right? Because we all look at this and we're like, "Oh my god, it's so expensive now." Walt would be turning in his grave. I don't think he would. I mean, yes, Walt wanted a place where all the families could play and interact, but he was also a businessman. He wanted to make money. Um, so I don't think he'd be spinning in his grave for that. And then, everybody's like, "Oh, I wish they would lower the ticket prices." Okay, but you just made a post 2 days ago about how overcrowded the parks were and you hated it. So it's like if you lower the ticket prices, there's even more people in the parks and it hits capacity every single day and nobody can get in and they're standing outside the gates waiting. So, how do you control capacity and make it an enjoyable experience for everyone without raising the prices, right? The fast pass system and what they're attempting to charge. I hate it. Oh my god, who is calling me at 8:11 on the day before Christmas Eve? Go away. Um, I hate it. I think it sucks that we have to pay for it. But again, it's a business and Universal charges like $300 a person for their express pass. And everybody was always in the Facebook groups for Disney saying, "I wish they did it like Universal." Well, now they're doing it like Universal, and everyone's like, "No, I don't. I wish you didn't do it this way." And I'm like, "Yes, we gotta like." I think we've just reached a point where we're just never happy with anything. That being said, I have even when FastPass was free, I did not like FastPass. I would use it, but I hate the concept altogether. I just wish it was standby lines at every ride, no matter what. And I know people say, well, but then you'd have a 4-hour wait for Tron. Okay, so then you have a 4-hour wait for Tron. But then Peter Pan's flight, that's now, 45-minute wait because you've got to wait for 10 parties that are lightning lane to go in front of you is now only a 25-minute wait. And that's the way it was. And I know people say, well, because when they reopened after COVID, there was no fast pass. It was standby only for every ride. And nothing was a long wait. The lines moved quick, it was efficient, you got on the ride, and people say, "Well, it was a lot limited capacity right after COVID, and so you can't compare it." Yeah, alright, it was definitely limited capacity after COVID, but the line still moved efficiently because you weren't having to have this merge point and hold people while they did their ratio of 40 to 1. So, I just hate it because 'cause I've seen how it's changed the waiting times for rides, and if you just got rid of it, again, Tron or Guardians would have couple-hour long wait, but that's your choice then if you wanna stand in that line and wait those couple hours. But then why does every other ride have to have an inflated wait time then? Leo, right, see? So and I see that so many times, people are like, I went and I just winged it, and I just looked at wait times, and I did it without FastPass, and I did everything I wanted to do. And I get it, not everybody agrees with me, some people like the fast pass, but Lauren, like, are you a fan of it with the kids because it reduces your wait time? Because that's my argument is if you don't have it, and now if you go to the park now, I wish I could pull up wait times, but I don't think the park is open yet. Let's just say on average, Winnie the Pooh is a 65-minute wait, and with little kids, that can be a long time. If you got rid of fast pass, Winnie the Pooh is a 25 to 30-minute wait with an interactive queue line. And you didn't have to pay for it. So, I don't know, that's just me. That's just me, but, that's because I worked and played there before there was FastPass, then I was there when they implemented FastPass with the free one, and you had to go to the ticket, like, I still have some of my paper FastPasses, where you had to go in that morning. And then they introduced "Oh, well, it's gonna be online now, and now you can do it days in advance." And then people were pissed because the people who were staying on property got to pick before the people who weren't staying on property, and how was that fair? And I just think FastPass was not their best idea. And I think I wish if they were gonna do it, then they would get rid of if you still wanna charge for it and you still wanna offer it, fine, but then truly do it like Universal does, where you don't still have to sit and pick times. It's just an express pass lane. You buy your express pass and you just go get in line. Get rid of the picking the times and plotting out your day, like, I hate it. I don't like it. That's just my opinion, though. I don't know how you guys feel about it. I feel like if you're gonna do it, then just do it. It can, yeah, it can definitely make the trip stressful. Well, even if you weren't, taking a trip, even here to just be a local, that's stressful because now it's like, "All right, we wanna go to the parks, we wanna ride rides," and I mean, we don't get fast pass because we live here, so if we go in the park and that line is way too long, we're like, "Fine, we'll come back another time." But like, next week for New Year's, we have family coming to visit, and I'm already sitting here going, "Well, I have tickets to the park. Do I go drop another couple $100 for us to all get lightning lanes so we can get them on the rides that they wanna go on, or do we just tell them, 'Too bad, so sad, we're gonna go do whatever we can do, and you paid for a ticket, but you might not ride everything because it's New Year's Eve and it's gonna be packed.'" Like, so even for locals, it's a stressful situation because 'cause we're like, "We don't know what to do at this point." But it is what it is. Um, I don't think it's going away no matter how much any of us protest it. I think it's here to stay, so you sure can. This was from a couple years ago, and it's a pajama set. So that's the pajama top is one of my favorite pairs of pajamas. The only problem is the pants are a little bit big. These were like oversized pajamas, so I bought my normal size and then I regretted it. And I was like, I should have sized down on this. The shirt fits nice, but the pants, I have to hold the pants as I'm walking around. Primark for pajamas. I have to buy a pair from there because man, when I'm in there shopping for you guys, those pajamas look amazing. And I'm always like kind of jealous. So I have to buy a pair and try them out. How are they with the sizing, Jam? Do you feel like they're their normal size, like true to size, or they are true to size? Okay, well that's good to know. Guys, don't forget to check out the bin. There's popcorn in there. There's M&M's popcorn and Skittles popcorn. Um, what else? Did y'all hear the news about Bluey? Did you guys hear that? Yes. Who's excited for Bluey to be coming to the parks? I can't tell you how many times I have seen questions in the tips and tricks groups about where can I meet Bluey? And it's always been like, well, that's not a Disney character. Yeah, I think that's going to be huge. I admittedly do not understand it. I've only watched one episode and I was like, okay, it's cute. I don't get the like crazed appeal about it. But that's fine. I don't have to. I just know that she's huge and everyone loves her. I like it was cute and yeah, I laughed at a couple things, but and I'm not saying like I wouldn't watch it again. Like if it was on the TV, I would probably sit and kind of half watch it. I don't know, but I wasn't like I was like, wow, okay. It takes a few to get into it. Okay, maybe I'll go back. Do I need to start from the beginning, or can I just like start putting on whatever episodes are on Disney Plus or on Disney Channel at the moment? And like I see all the references on, like I see the like nice parking job. I'm like, okay, I don't know what that is, but sure. Jessica, no, they haven't given us any details. The only thing we know is it's coming to Walt Disney World, Disneyland, and then it says select Disney cruises, which will be the cruises that are going to be leaving from Australia. It's just the most tolerable and relatable toddler show. Okay. She's 23. I love it. Okay. I'll try it. I'll try it again. Like I said, it was cute. I didn't not like it. I was just like, I'm very confused about this, the craze that like I get it if you have a toddler, but I wasn't quite understanding like the older group losing their minds over it. But I'm excited for all of the fans of Bluey. I think that's fantastic. They're gonna have this opportunity. Oh, Sarah, no, 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 you don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. But hold up, wait a minute. There's Pegasus pajamas? Did I know that? I know I saw something Pegasus, and I can't remember if it was pajamas or was it a t-shirt. I think it was a t-shirt. Are there pajamas now? I might have to go make a run to Primark. Hmm, interesting. But anyway, yeah, so I'm very excited for all the Bluey fans. I think you guys are gonna have so much fun next year. I am Julie and I are like we're very excited for the Bluey merch, but we're sort of dreading because we know the requests that are gonna come in are gonna be crazy. Maybe I'm just like, do I wanna go to the mall during Christmas? I don't know. Oh, Jessica. Okay, I do love that. That is cute. That is very cute. I don't think they've given us a start date yet either, so we're gonna have to keep an eye on that. Um, and we were trying to figure out like where Bluey would go, like what park. My guess would be Hollywood Studios. Um, I'm kind of thinking he's gonna end up over by what is it, Disney Junior Playhouse or Disney Junior Live? Because I think there's already that existing meet and greet area. So to me, that would make the most sense. But then Aiden, he was like, well, but he's or she's a dog and Australian. So what if she goes over to Animal Kingdom? And then I was like, well, But what makes more sense than Animal Kingdom would be to go to Epcot because she's Australian. So now we're like, we don't know. We know that probably wouldn't be Magic Kingdom, but now we're like, oh, it could be Studios, could be Animal Kingdom, it could be Epcot. I think the two most likely are Epcot or Hollywood Studios. Personally, I would prefer Hollywood Studios because I don't think there's enough at that park for smaller kids. And not that that necessarily, like, makes it a whole day park for little kids. There's still, I think, needs to be some attractions there, but at least it's a start and gives parents with little kids something additional to do there. Yep. I would just like something to be done with that whole animation courtyard in general. Um, I mean, they have all of that downstairs space in the animation building that they used to have the animation attraction and everything. I don't know if they've turned all of that into office space as well. I know all the upper floors is office space, but like if you got that whole bottom floor of the animation building, could you do a Bluey show? Could you expand it from there and do something like that? Sarah, I agree. I agree. Um, so for someone who doesn't like thrill rides, so I don't do Rock and Roller Coaster and I don't do Tower of Terror. I still find enough to do during the day, but that's because like I just go do the leisurely stroll. Like I'm not there trying to cram everything in one day. Although the last time I did that when we had all of our family here a couple years ago, I did feel like we didn't have enough time during the day to get everything done. So I suppose it depends on what you're doing, but I know definitely for little kids it's a harder park. So having Bluey there for the meet and greet would be nice. But again, Epcot also makes sense too because she's Australian. Oh, Sarah, yeah, because there's no one there. That's the best idea. It sounds weird to say that, um, because oh, my phone just thought that I said Siri instead of, Sarah. So it's, like, blinking at me like, "What do you want?" "Not you, not today, go away." Um, it seems weird to tell people, like, "Come during a hurricane," but low wait times, and then you get to ride Space Mountain with the lights turned on, so that's always fun. So we're gonna do this is gonna be the last Monday for this year. I'm not gonna do one next week because we have family coming in and I need to find this house because it's buried under merchandise. um it looks like someone ransacked a Neiman Marcus or something. It's just crazy in here. Um, so this will be the last one for Monday for this year. But then when we come back in January, Aiden had an exceptional idea the other day about what we should do with our Monday shows. Because I know we were kind of talking about like doing it as like motivational. Um, and we're still gonna do like little elements of that. But he had a really good idea about how to run this show on Monday mornings. And so we're gonna kick that off in January. I'm excited to start working on it and getting that built up so you guys can see what that's gonna look like. But I think it'll be fun. I think you guys will enjoy it. I think it'll be a great way to start your week. So that'll be coming up in January. So make sure you keep an eye out for that. Um, Ben is all loaded up, so I know. So it was funny because he said it, and I just stopped and I just looked at him. I was like, and I think he was waiting for me to say like, "That's a dumb idea" or something, and I just went, "That's kind of a brilliant idea, Aiden." And he was like, "Oh, okay, well, thank you." So then I told Sean, and he goes, "That's a really good idea." I said, "I know, so we're gonna run with it." So um, we will debut that in January. But the bin is loaded up. There's stuff in there. Go check it out. Whew. I think it'll be fun. There's something similar on a different platform, but we're gonna do ours a little it won't be quite the same, it'll be a little different, and it'll be on here, so mhm, that should be a fun time. Who's traveling today? Anybody traveling to get to their Christmas vacation today? I wish you all the best if you are. Jessica, so this is his sophomore year. First semester he did good. He made dean's list, so he's doing good. And they don't so at SCAD, they don't do semesters, they do quarters. So he already did the first quarter, so now he goes back in January for second quarter. And he's very excited. He's loving it there. What are we doing to celebrate Christmas Eve? Working. We have to go back to the parks to get more popcorn buckets. I have to go do a delivery of a large order. And then we have to pick up a few more things. And then we have to come home and we have to pack everything that we haven't packed up yet and get that out over to the post office. And then we need to clean. So tonight's still like a work day and work night. He does go to SCAD in Savannah. Yep. He loves it there. I love it there. I love it for him there. I think it was the perfect school for him. It is. It's really the campus is really nice. And they now have this huge, huge, huge film lot that they've built um to bring productions into. So there's going to be studios coming in and filming on that lot. So lots of opportunities for him. Nice, two little monsters. So where should we go like if we were going to go for the weekend? Where should we go? Like what are some hidden gems in Savannah? What should we go looking for? Aiden's found all like the little places like right around the campus and in downtown by the waterfront. Um, like that one ice cream place across from the SCAD library. That was some good ice cream. That was really good ice cream. But it is very pretty there. I would love to see it at Christmas time, but because they do the quarters, they end in middle of November and don't go back until January. So I don't get to see Savannah at Christmas. And I'm like, I can't justify the driving the 4 hours up there just to go see some Christmas lights. So one of these semesters or one of these years, I'm sure he'll move off campus and have an apartment. And then we can go surprise visit him for Christmas. I'm sure he'll be thrilled. Do the ghost tours. I do love doing ghost tours. We haven't done one yet, but you recommend them? Last time I did a ghost tour was in New Orleans. That was really good. Ooh, see? We're all tired. We're all very tired. Ooh, the haunted bar in Savannah? Where is that? I'm writing this one down. The haunted bar. I'm gonna have to check that out. There's a restaurant we wanted to go to when we first went up to go look at the campus when he was deciding where he wanted to go. There was a restaurant we found that was it's like the oldest restaurant there. And I can't remember the name of it, but they weren't open on Mondays and Tuesdays, and we were there either a Monday or a Tuesday. So we got there and we are like, oh crap, it's closed. So we got to go try that. Hi, Compass Cove. How are you? How's it going? Compass, lots of good items in the bin if you want to do a little bit of shopping in there. Sixpence Pub and the Pirates House. Ooh. Sixpence Pub and the Pirates House. Okay, I'm gonna check that out. Because I think we might go we have to take them up first weekend in January, so I'm kinda thinking we might try to if I can swing it, we might make a weekend out of it. I'm sorry, what? 2 Little Monsters? A square on River Street that only you can hear yourself talk. How does that work? That I have to check out now. That only you can hear yourself. That's yeah, I'm very curious now. Like how does that work? No one knows. Is this some sort of like witchcraft or something? Anybody else ever heard of this? That's kind of crazy. So, like, what if both of you are in the square, like standing face to face? Can you still hear each other talk, or you can only hear yourself? Do I have to go do some experiments? Is that what I for science? Ooh, with an echo. Hmm. Huh. Okay, we're gonna go check that out. And maybe we'll do a live from there so you can watch me have a reaction to it and be like, "What is happening?" But then again, would you guys hear me talking? I don't know. Oh, see? More science. Definitely have to go check it out now. That's how you break the rules on that. You have to do it as a live, and then people would hear you talking. Yeah. Watch Kristen do science. Kristen doesn't do science. She sucked at science. Math and science were Sean's thing. Mine was history and English, which worked out because now all 3 kids do well in all 4 subjects. So apparently we planned that correctly. Rusaki's Plaza Echo Square. I'm gonna have to ask Aiden if he knows about this. Plaza Echo Square. Okay. Thank you, Jam. I appreciate that. Huh. Oh god, I can't stop yawning. Well, I'm pretty sure tomorrow, because we don't have any shows or anything planned for tomorrow. I think I'm gonna end up sleeping till like 4 p.m. Sounds good. Thank you, Kiwi. Yes, they did. God, that was an ugly win. Ugly and stressful. Mason and I were watching it in Magic Kingdom in Liberty Square, and we were like yelling at our phone, like we can't be losing to the Patriots. And people were looking at us because it was kind of hilarious that we were in Liberty Square and yelling about Patriots. Oh, it's an old. Oh, so great, great. So I'm gonna probably like bring someone extra home with me. Is what you're saying? Yeah, we were, but it was funny though because I kept looking around and there was I every so often I would see there'd be other people in like Bills jerseys and they'd be watching like this over by an attraction or something. They'd be hiding in a corner watching the game. But yeah, we were. Oh, that was not a great game, Cindy. That was an awful game. We should have been steamrolling them from the beginning. What the hell happened? It's Savannah always, yes, true, and New Orleans, right? Um, man. See, but that's what worried about me about our schedule because like I was cool with losing to the Rams because I felt like we needed a loss. We'd been doing really good, and that was such a hard fought game. And it was against because they were finally healthy again. That was against a playoff caliber team. And so I did not like the fact that we had that game and now we were going to the Patriots, the Jets, the Patriots, who are like awful. And I was like, we are going to go in so cocky and so overconfident and we're going to screw it up. I would have preferred to have had Patriots, Jets, Patriots, Rams and go into the playoffs after the Rams. Were they? I didn't hear that part. Which record? I'll have to go look that up. And then, yeah, yeah, I didn't know. And then I saw that they finally admitted that Josh Allen's been playing for most of the season with a fractured hand. I was like, that's crazy. No wonder why every time he would fall on it, he would be like, "Ugh," and everybody on the sideline would be like ghost faced. Like, oh my God. What do we think? Is Josh Allen getting MVP this year? I hope so. That would be nice. Although honestly, I'd rather the Super Bowl than the MVP. Mar Goofy. Oh, see, like we were enjoying that though from Buffalo because you guys used to like we used to hate the Patriots game. Those were the games that you could get the tickets for like $10 because we all know that we were gonna get our asses handed to us by Brady and the Patriots, and we hated you guys. So I must admit we are sort of reveling in this. I think he should too. But I know Barkley's making a good run for it. Well, I appreciate that you were happy for the Bills. It's been a long time, man. I remember living in Buffalo all those years. That those Patriot years were those were brutal. Nice. See, it's so weird, Jim, because like I love football, but I don't watch college football. It's just not a thing up in the Northeast, especially in the Buffalo area. Like I don't know if it's because we don't really have any colleges up in that area that play it, so there's no buy-in to it or whatever, but it's like, no, no, college football is just not a thing up there. That's why it was weird to be down here and everybody's like, got Florida, their Gator stuff and all that kind of stuff, but up there, at least in the Great Lakes region, Ohio's an exception, obviously, because they have the Ohio State, but, um, other than that, like, the eastern side of the Great Lakes, we just don't care about college football. Maybe it's because 'cause we're just way too committed to the Bills, and we're like, "There's just no other football teams for us." I don't know, but Jessica, well, you gonna get some hate for that. Yeah, but even in Buffalo, like, everyone's like, "Oh, yeah, Syracuse. Yeah, that's who we would root for," but there's no, like 27 years in Buffalo, and college football was never a thing there. Lord. Yeah, Georgia's big on they are for sure, and then, like, Texas is, like, huge about any type of football, but Buffalo's just like, "Yeah, we got the Bills. That's it." Like, that's the only football team, right? Like, nobody else exists. I don't know. It's weird. And then I don't think it helped that, like, Sean and I went to a private college in Buffalo that was smaller than our high school. Well, maybe not his high school because he grew up in the boonies, but it was basically, like, the size of my high school. It was very tiny. It really just felt like a continuation of high school. Um, they were, like, D7, if there is such a thing. Like, whatever the lowest tier is, we were below that in sports. And so there was just, like, no hype with any of that. Oh, Kiwi, it's because 'cause they've all had a lot of beer. Yeah, no, see, we wouldn't even qualify for D3. We were like D9 is what we were. Yeah, it's a lot of alcohol, a lot of beer to be taking those shirts off because you don't feel it then, but then the problem is you don't feel it, and then you get frostbite because you don't feel it. So, oh, really? Water polo was your D1 in Wisconsin. That is very weird. I think the closest we've come in Buffalo is UB is now I think they're D2, but even that, like, nobody cares about the UB games. The UB students go, but, like, there's support in the Buffalo area. Everyone's like, "Oh, yay, UB, yay," but, like, you didn't see people out on college game days wearing UB stuff, like, there wasn't people all gathering at the bars to watch it. It just was not a thing. We knew we had a college team. We knew that they were okay, but they must have been good enough because, what's his name? Was he on the Packers now? Is it Khalil Mack? He went from UB to there. Sports for Mac. I like sports, and that's what he went to school for was sports management, which is hilarious that he went to school for sports management that, like, had, like, intramural sports, and that was about it. I look back now and I was like, "Why did you do that?" I mean, I'm glad you did because that's where we met, but, like, the hell were you thinking? But the same could also be said, I wanted to go and study film and do film things, and I went to a school that didn't have a film program. So I guess the 2 of us were just idiots when we were 17. But that's how we found each other, so I guess so. I guess so. I don't think I've ever told you the story of how we met. That's a funny story too. Yeah, football's, like, definitely a southern thing. Southern and Texas. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, our last name is Deutsch. German in German, so spelled exactly that way. And as you can imagine, it gets mispronounced often with a certain word. Um, and so the first day freshman year, my first class is the name of the school we went to was Medaille, so it's called the Medaille Experience, and it's basically like your 101 class, and it was like your how to college kind of thing. And I get in the classroom and I sit in like a middle row. And now again, like these are not big lecture halls. These are like tiny little high school classrooms. Okay. The school, the main building was in a converted convent. Like, that's how tiny our school was. So, just these little classrooms. So, I go sit in the middle row because, I don't want to be called on for anything, and I know that if you sit up front, you look like the teacher's pet, and so they call on you because they think you know everything. And if you sit in the back, they know you're trying to avoid it, so they call on you. So, I've always found that, like, if you sit in the middle, you kind of blend in and no one knows you're there, and you can just exist and not be called on for answers and stuff. So, I go take my seat in the middle row, and there's a couple other kids in there, and there's a couple kids already in the very back row, like, trying to melt into the wall. And the professor comes in, one of my favorite professors there, and he starts doing roll call. And my last name started with a W at the time, so I knew I had a while to go before he got to my name. And he's going down the roll call, and he's going, Sean Douche, Sean Douche. And so I start looking around, and I see this kid in the very back row, like, trying to melt into the wall and just like this. And I just kinda turned back to the front, and I'm, like, quietly laughing, and I was like, "Oh, that poor bastard, what a shitty last name." And now, all these years later, I get to hear Kristen Douche, and I'm like, "God damn it." So that was how I first saw Sean. Mhm, that's the story. Was me thinking, "Oh, that poor kid, he's gotta go through life with that last name. That must suck." And then a year later, he's like, "Hey, you wanna get married?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." And then I was thinking, I was like, "Oh, crap, now I have that last name." Yep. Yep, that's the story of how I first saw Sean. So, yeah. So I always joke around that, I got a harder last name to pronounce, but I moved way up in the alphabet. So, it was a trade-off. I got to move from the W's to the D, it felt like moving uptown. Oh, yeah, you went the opposite direction, Lizzie. Big so we have items in the bin that are up for sale there. So we're just kinda doing that this morning. We're just having a nice, easy, chill morning because it's Christmas Eve, and we didn't wanna get too crazy. But the bin is fully loaded, so if there's anything in there you wanna check out, go for it. Other than that, we're just kinda doing question and answers. If you have any questions about selling on Whatnot, if you have questions about buying on Whatnot, you need tips, you wanna promote your show, have at it. We're just doing a nice, quiet, easy coffee talk without the coffee, for me at least. Holy crap, it's been 43 minutes already. We're probably gonna finish up in a few minutes. But definitely check out the bin. I added some stuff in there. I did add, so I got some cups from Universal. So we've got the Jurassic World acrylic cups are in there. And then um if you where did I put there's a Harry Potter one in there now too. I personally love this cup. So that one's also in the bin with the dark mark on there. So that one's in there and it's discounted. I'm still trying to add everything, but there's lots of clothing in there. There's gonna be a lot more clothing going in, and then we're gonna go from there. And all that stuff's available 24/7 on the marketplace. So even if I don't have a show going on, you can still shop with us. Um, Let's see. What else we got? What? Yes. The children are waking up. So, I think we'll finish up because it's been about 45 minutes. Anybody have any other questions? Like I said, we'll debut the new version of this in January, so we won't have the Mindfulness Monday next week. I am thinking about trying to do a show just before New Year's and maybe do like some giveaways and stuff as a thank you guys because what a year it's been. And that's really all because of you. No, never. Not once. Not once did I see the Santa bot. And I have heard from several other people who have said that they didn't see it either. So I think that was made up. I think that was just totally made up by them. So I know, like it was so weird because they pushed this and they were like, "Oh, it's going to be great. We're going to do all these things and all these promotions for it." And I was like, "I didn't see any of the stuff that you guys said you were going to do." So, okay. Yeah. It was kind of a dud, but that's okay. We don't need a Santa bot. We can be each other's Santas. We're really good at those bloops. Oh, you did see it in one show in space. You saw him twice. Okay, so he was out there then. I wonder how they were just like determining what shows he was going into because we had ours tagged correctly and everything. So I don't know. It bought random. Yeah, that's what they said they were gonna do. But oh, Lola, we were talking about when they did that Winter Wonderland a couple weekends ago. That none of us ever saw the Santa bot that was supposed to be going around and like gifting stuff. Did you ever see the Santa bot? Were you on that weekend? He gifted like 4 items and was gone. Oh, okay. He just pieced out real quick, huh? Yes, you were on, or yes, you saw him. If you were on, you saw it. Okay, all right. So I guess he does exist, to quote the Eminem. Yeah, I didn't see him at all that weekend. Not that I was watching a ton of shows, but oh, you're welcome, Kiwi. So that's the Christmas parade that you get when you do the Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party. That's the show. So if you guys are ever, here's a great pro tip for you. Yes, you have to deal with more crowds, but if you ever wanted to do the Very Merry Christmas Party, but you hate the idea of paying for that extra ticket on top of your admission, just come the week of Christmas because the day after the last party for that week for Christmas, you get the Christmas party at the parks. So like if I go into Magic Kingdom today, I get all of the holiday overlays, all of the holiday snacks, all of the party merch, the party parade and the party fireworks. It's basically the Christmas party every from open to close all day long for that entire week. So that's why everyone's always like, "Oh, you're gonna go to the Christmas party?" I'm like, "Yeah, but I'm gonna go when I can go for free with my annual pass. I'm not gonna pay another $230 on top of that to go to it." Now again, you might have higher travel costs and you're gonna have to deal with the crowds, but we didn't mind it. And so that's what we do every year now. We wait and we go after the parties are over and we get to do all the same things that the people at the parties do. So the only difference is if you do the party, you're supposed to get less attendance. It's supposed to be limited. But from what I've heard, it's been just as busy during the parties. So to me, I'm like, save your money and just if you're gonna be here Christmas week, go then and get the same exact thing. But that's what the parade is. That's the Christmas party parade. And it's very cute. Um, I have to see if they're doing the fireworks after Christmas or if it goes back to happily ever after right after Christmas before New Year's. Um, really, Olaf, was the party awful just because it was so packed? And see, Jollywood last year, everybody hated it. So I was glad to see that they revamped it. And I've been hearing a lot of good things about Jollywood this year. That I might be willing to pay it for a ticket to do because I love the idea of like the 1920s Christmas. Um, but if they're gonna still do the Christmas fireworks at the day after Christmas, then What I want to try to do is do the fireworks for you one night. We'll go live and show the I know we saw them when Julie and I were out, but we saw them from Contemporary. I'd like to do it from inside the park and show you guys the fireworks for the party. So we'll try and do that. We got to get over to SeaWorld too. Yeah, see, that's what I've been hearing a lot about the party. That's why I'm like, don't pay for the party anymore. Just if you're gonna be here, especially if you're here the day after the last party, go then. Because all that stuff is out in the stores then. Oh yeah. Oh, of course. Yep. Because Animal Kingdom closes a little bit earlier, and studios would get packed too. Because all those people have to go somewhere. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, and then especially if it was a night when there was the party and Jollywood, then the only option they had was Epcot. So yeah, that would make it really awful. But at least Epcot's a huge park and has the capacity for that. I think at Animal Kingdom it would be worse. Jollywood is the Christmas party at Hollywood Studios. So that's the separate ticketed event. Last year was the first year they did it, and boy, did they have a lot to learn. And so it was kind of awful last year. It got a lot of negative feedback. They made a lot of changes to it this year, and I've heard a lot of great things, and a lot of people are saying that that's the better party now. Yes, Jessica, that's mhm. Yeah, if you don't mind only doing a half day at a park, that's the way to do it, because MCAM party days, like, there's no waits for stuff. All right, Olaf, you're convincing me to buy a ticket next year. I wanted to go last year, but I couldn't afford a ticket for it. And then after the first party, I heard all the feedback, and I was like, okay, it's the first party. There's always kinks to work out. And then it was the same feedback after the second party, and I was like, well, okay. And then it was the same feedback after the third party. I was like, no, I'm gonna save my money. So then this year, I was like, I don't like. I'm gonna have to hear that it was really awesome for me to want to go spend the money on it. And Julie and I talked about doing it, but um, if we either we're gonna have to just spend the money out of our own pocket, which neither of us really had, or we were gonna have to go and work and do a live from there. But there's really no merch for Jollywood to justify the cost of the ticket. So okay. All right, Olaf, we can check that out. Yeah. Definitely include us in that. That could be fun. Do a whatnot meetup at Jollywood. We talked about doing one at HHN. And then we just never really followed up with that one. But I think HHN would be fun too. All right, guys. Oh my gosh, it's been almost an hour. Holy cow. They do not Kiwi Tree. They only come in full sizes. Only full sizes. What was that all about? You what? You have a question? What's your question?
How am I supposed to buy my birthday gift on Amazon if you have?
Oh well, Amazon. You can't do Amazon now. It's too late.
Yes, I can.
Oh, the Halloween one. They're right here.
No, Mom. The gift.
These?
The gift that when I get in person comes tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll talk about it after the show. Yep, these are super cute. It's the only pair I have, and they're sold out at Warehouse. Sparkly, I have no idea. I am so lost. So that email came out that all the rules were changing on the 8th, and you could only do like the same item. But then I don't know if Steidon's still in here. Steidon messaged support and asked for clarification. I guess they gave her one answer, and then they got back to her later and said, actually, we gave you the wrong answer. So she sent a couple of us what she got from support yesterday, and they said, well, Disney is actually in the toys category, and the toys category doesn't follow under that rule because it's the collectibles. And so the new rules don't apply to Disney shows. So basically it's back to just doing whatever you were doing before. I don't know. It's a mess. But I will tell you this. Even though the rules don't supposedly apply to Disney now, the fact that they are putting these rules into place, I mark my words, in 2025 they're gonna stop mystery shows. They are working towards getting rid of them. I can tell that they do not want them on the platform anymore. So for now they're good, but they are gonna phase them out. I can already tell by what they're doing. Hi, Julie. Um, but yeah, what Steiden got yesterday from support was that because it's in the toys category and toys are considered collectibles and collectibles is exempt from the new rules, we can still keep doing mystery shows the way that we've been doing them. Sparkly, I agree. I mean, listen, I know some people hate them altogether, just flat out, and that's fine. They're not everybody's cup of tea. Um, I I think there are some really good mystery sellers on there who do a really nice job, and I don't mind spending some money with them every once in a while because, like, listen, sometimes it's fun. I don't have a casino I can go walk and do here, and I'm like, this is as close as I can get. I can go walk in and do a mystery game. And so there are some that I think they have fun and you can be assured that, yeah, maybe you get the floor item, but it's still something and it's not an awful item, right? But then there are others who are just shitty and ruin it for everybody else. Just like in everything in life, right? Yes. Well, and Olaf, I also saw somebody saying that because the company is headquartered in California, and so it actually is against the rules in California for the mystery games. It breaks the law there, I guess. So because they're headquartered there, they're technically held to those laws. So I've seen some people saying that too, that's why that they're trying to work on getting those off the platform because they're technically breaking the law by operating it from California. So, and there are some, yep. I mean, and that's true of anything, right? Sparkly, there's anything that you look at in life, there's always someone who's trying to make a quick buck and scam someone. So, um, getting rid of mystery games unfortunately won't stop that. They'll just find new avenues. There's going to always be, you just have to be vigilant, know what you're doing. Yes, because it's considered gambling. Yep. So I think between that and all the complaints that they've gotten recently, I think they're like, yeah, their legal team's probably like, how about we just don't? But they're in a tricky position, right? Because the mystery shows have gotten big on there and they have really big sellers doing them, and that's a lot of money coming in. And you don't want to piss off those sellers and have them go off the platform. So they're in like this tricky spot of like, how do we not do them anymore without pissing everybody off? So that's why I'm seeing this as like a phased rollout. Like, okay, we'll keep changing the rules, we'll make it harder and harder, and then by attrition, we will get rid of them until it gets down to a low enough point where they can say, okay, we're just done. That's my guess. That's how I see it going. Because then you don't really risk thoroughly pissing off those sellers and having them go off the platform. It gives them time to kind of adjust and do things different. But we'll see. We shall see. We'll see what 2025 brings, but I think they want to get rid of them. That's why we were gonna do that other mystery show for the ornaments, and I pushed it back because I was like, I don't know if I want to do it right now because maybe that's not the best idea. Yeah, that's why. So like, I just do it once in a while. It's almost like a treat, right? It's like, okay, I'll go spend like $7, and then that's it, and then I'm done. Yep. Yeah, I do it. I treat it as like a once in a while treat if I have a couple extra bucks, and then if I get the floor and I'm like, okay, well, to me it's like walking up and it's like when you have that layover in Vegas and you're like, let me go spend $20 on the penny slot machine, and if I lose $20, I lose $20. Yes, exactly. Yeah, but even as a seller, like I couldn't do it every day. I don't know how the sellers that do it every day. Those are tough shows to run. They are not as easy as they seem. I would lose my mind, but all right, guys, I think we're going to call it a day because it's been an hour and I have got to get running. We got to get over to MK and then we got to go do some drops and all kinds of other craziness. So, tonight, Character Warehouse. So make sure you bookmark that one. And let's see who's on that we can rate. I don't know if there's anyone small on at this point. Oh, let's go to Pinning Victoria. What's she doing? Let's see. Sounds good. Sounds good. She's got 17. Let's go in. Let's show her some love. Put some castles in the chat. And then I will see you tonight at Character Warehouse. Bye, guys.